No matter how many of my people you put in the ground.
If you've clicked on this video, you already know that there was a Mortal Kombat 3 that was supposed to come out but was eventually canceled. So, what happened? What was it about? How do we know that there was really a threequel in the pipeline? And what ultimately happened to the film? Will it come out anytime soon in the near future? Now that we look back, this was kind of a whole fiasco where fans got excited only to be let down. So let's dive into what went wrong and why Mortal Kombat 3 never made it to the big screen. But before we go into our explanation, we have a very small request. If you like our content, please support us by subscribing to our channel. This is a small click for you, but for us it means a lot. Thank you. Let's begin. The Mortal Kombat universe. The Mortal Kombat universe began as an action video game that was released in 1992. Due to its cool graphics and inspiration from actual martial arts, the video game gained a fair share of popularity. The game quickly gained traction for its intense fighting, iconic characters, and brutal fatalities. So, when a film adaptation was released in 1995, fans were pretty excited. The first film, Mortal Kombat, soon became a cult hit, which led to the production of a sequel named Mortal Kombat Annihilation. Rumors quickly began to fly about a third one before getting lost into oblivion. Devastation. What do we know about the film? Soon after the release of the second film in 1997, plans of making the third one were already out. The title of this film was supposed to be Mortal Kombat Devastation. There were multiple rewrites on the plot, and none of the scripts got finalized. Mortal Kombat Devastation was probably an attempt to redeem the franchise after Annihilation failed to hit the mark. Interestingly, the official Mortal Kombat website even hosted a poll in November 2009. Fans were asked to vote on the most iconic characters from the franchise that they thought would die in the planned film. So this got the fans all hyped up about the upcoming film, but there were no further updates on the official website. In one interview, Lyndon Ashby, who plays the role of Johnny Cage in the film, is asked what his daughter thinks about his character. Ashby goes on to share a fond anecdote of his daughter standing up to her bullies and saying that her father is Johnny Cage who doesn't die. In this same interview, he reveals that Mortal Kombat 3 is definitely about to come out. He says that he's read the script and found it to be good. He was pretty excited about Johnny Cage coming back on screen. Ashby did mention that Mortal Kombat 3 was stuck in some legal negotiations and roundabouts. In fact, Robin Shou, who plays the iconic role of Liu Kang in the Mortal Kombat series, had been roped in for a 3-movie contract by the producers. So we wonder what really happened to that. Around July 2009, Chris Casamassa, who played the role of Scorpion in the film, announced that the filming would start from September. In fact, both of them revealed that they would play their original roles from the first film. So, to sum it up, here's what we know. The script had somewhat progressed a bit, and the cast was probably selected. Talks were going on, and there were some legal complications right from the start. And the production had already been working on something. Here's what we don't know: the plot and how much work had already been done on the film. So now comes the real question: why was it canceled? Devastated fans. The brutal failure of Mortal Kombat 2. From scantily dressed characters to grotesque fatalities, the franchise is a spicy universe that has developed a fanatic following. So the MK cult really looked forward to the film adaptation. But the films acquired a PG-13 level of violence, which really undersells the bloodbath of the game. Fatalities are in fact one of the biggest identifying factors of the game, and if you have to censor that, what remains? The plot of Mortal Kombat 1995 is centered around a martial arts tournament. They're supposed to conduct it on a mysterious island. The champions of the Earth Realm must defeat the fighters of the Outworld in order to prevent the evil Emperor Shao Kahn from conquering Earth. Characters from the game, such as Liu Kang, Johnny Cage, and Sonya Blade, are selected to represent Earth Realm, and they're guided by Raiden the God. As the tournament begins, our heroes have to battle it out with opponents like Shang Tsung, Goro, and Sub-Zero. In the end, Liu Kang defeats Shang Tsung in an ultimate battle. Earthrealm emerges victorious, and Outworld's invasion is delayed, sure, but the threat of Shao Kahn continues to linger around. The movie may not be a masterpiece, but fans appreciated the effort. By contrast, the plot of Annihilation is very chaotic and full of inconsistencies. The film begins with Shao Kahn violating the rules of the tournament without any explanation. What follows is an immediate invasion of the Earthrealm. Now, this completely contradicts the structure established in the first movie. Also, the characters are drastically changed at times. times, like Sub-Zero is a hero all of a sudden, and Scorpion, who had died in the previous film, is suddenly resurrected without any logic. The plot, if any at all, feels very rushed. Too many characters, new characters are introduced, and we lose track, especially because these characters don't even move the plot. Several characters like Jax, Katana, and Nightwolf are suddenly given more importance than they deserve. The finale feels very messy, and there are a lot of random, unnecessary fights, leaving fans confused. Annihilation just didn't capture what made the first Mortal Kombat movie work. The game has these awesome mystical realms like Earthrealm, Outworld, and the Netherrealm, but the film barely scratched the surface. Fan-favorite characters like Sub-Zero and Scorpion didn't get the attention they deserved. Their backstories, rivalries, and even their bond were watered down. With such a huge universe to pull from, it was always going to be tough to fit everything into a movie. To make things worse, producer Lawrence Kasanoff admitted that the version of Annihilation that hit theaters wasn't even fully finished. Soon after the release of Annihilation, it quickly became one of the most infamous failures in the history of video game movies. The critics practically tore it apart. Annihilation was given only 2% on Rotten Tomatoes. Despite being a box office success initially, it failed to maintain momentum. As days passed, the film grossed far less than what was expected. There was a sharp 60% dip in the box office. This significantly impacted the reputation of the franchise. There was no point in doing more harm than what has already been done. New Line Cinema was also reluctant to move forward with a third movie, so the development of the planned third installment was permanently stalled. Now, you can argue that the third film was intended to build on the success of the first film instead of the second, so it seems fair that the success or failure of the second one shouldn't really be a factor here, but it was. They would have to ideally ignore Annihilation's events altogether, and this would have meant leaving behind the unresolved storylines introduced in the sequel. Now that is a ton of work. Devastated by the Hurricane Katrina. Now, it wasn't just the commercial failure which led to the perpetual cancellation of Mortal Kombat Devastation. Chris Casamassa portrayed the popular character of Scorpion in the first Mortal Kombat film. He was expected to reprise his role in the third movie, but fate had something else for him. It was like even nature was revolting against bad art. If you remember the destruction caused by Hurricane Katrina in 2005, you can recall that New Orleans faced the brunt of the storm pretty heavily. This unfortunately led to the destruction of several sets that were being prepared for the film. So this incident further complicated an already troubled production process. Sadly, it pushed any potential work on the film to an absolute halt. So did the once blossoming Mortal Kombat film franchise die for real? Is there any hope of seeing a Mortal Kombat 3 in the near future? The Warner Brothers buyout. In 2009, Warner Brothers acquired the assets of Midway Games after the company went bankrupt. This included the Mortal Kombat franchise as well. This set the stage for a brand new movie reboot in 2021. Developed by Warner Brothers Pictures, this film reboot was released on April 23, 2021. It was available both in theaters and on HBO Max, giving the franchise the fresh start that it needed after a decade of stalling. But unlike previous adaptations, this film is not connected to the 1995 Mortal Kombat or its 1997 sequel. The reboot aimed to bring a new, more faithful experience to fans, with intense action and the iconic characters the series is known for. Marvelous verdict. Mortal Kombat 3 has gone through a series of troubles right from the start. The official poll, the interviews, and media reports on the film had been a brutal tease for fans of the Mortal Kombat universe. Gamers and film lovers have been eagerly waiting for the promised sequel for more than decades now. It was really disheartening to never really get one, especially after the first film won hearts and the second film massively disappointed the fans. The company's sellout and the 2021 reboot came as a boon to a generation of Mortal Kombat enthusiasts who had grown up playing the game. Although the reboot performed average at best, it did revive the franchise, continuing its legacy in both gaming and cinema. But fans do wish that they could go back in alternate timelines and actually watch Johnny Cage being resurrected in Mortal Kombat Devastation. And if you liked our content, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe to us if you haven't already. Have a good one and be safe. Thanks, everyone.